VaporLock. Today we're going to take a look at the MVPs. We touched base on these in a previous video when we was talking about variable wattage, variable voltage devices. All of these are the same thing, of course. They're all MVP 2.0s from Innokin, and they're actually the first step up that I took from the EVODs, and it's a great little device. Has a very long-lasting battery. Usually you can get about 2 days out of one of these before you have to recharge them. It's got a lot of great built-in features, especially for those who are looking at getting into RDAs and things like that if you're going to be rebuilding your own coils, because it does have the ability to read the resistance ratings of your coils. So if that's a step that you want to take, this might be a great intermediate step. I would recommend this for really just about anybody from beginner to intermediate to advanced for all of those reasons, because it lasts long. It has a pass-through built into it here at the bottom of the, make sure I got that turned around the right way, on the bottom of the device. It uses a micro USB cable to charge it, and it has a pass-through so that whenever, if it's dead on you and you're in the process of recharging it, you can actually still use it while you're recharging it. The charging cable that comes with this device, you can also utilize it to use this as like an emergency backup battery to charge other devices. So if you're out and about, whatever you're doing, and say your phone dies and you need to use it, this can act as an emergency power source for that. You can use the same cable that came with it if it does have an adapter for what you're using, or if you happen to have your USB cable that has a standard USB output on the bottom. Simply, there's a little switch. You'll switch that over to on, and that will then allow you to charge other devices off of the USB through the bottom of that device. So you can see there how you could do that, charge something else, as well as spin this around backwards and use it to charge the MVP as well from a computer or anything that has a USB output. The MVP has both 510 and Ego threading, so it'll fit all of your standard tanks, whether you're using something like this, which is a Nautilus. Another great feature about it, of course, is that it is variable wattage, variable voltage, so you can increase or decrease the power to your coils to adjust your liking, depending on the coils that you're having or just your personal taste. Something like this, I like to crank it up all the way. If I'm using voltage, I'll have it set on 5, or if I'm using wattage, I'll have it turned all the way up to 11. That's right, it goes all the way up to 11. It comes in all kinds of different types of looks. You have all kinds of weird looking camo down here. We have wood grains, and this doesn't even touch all the different varieties of color combinations that they have. Different types of finishes. Some of them are polished, some of them have a nice little grain to it. And as well, if you don't like any of the colors or varieties that they provide, there's a ton of these things that you see here. Like here's a little, looks like a zebra pattern or something. It's essentially just a sticker. It fits this perfectly. It's got little windows for your buttons and stuff. You'll peel that off, wrap it around there, and you can make it look however you like. And of course, they carry a wide variety of these down here at the VaporLock for you. There are 2 buttons on the side. One will control your wattage and one will control your voltage. You'll only use one of those at a time. It's not gonna, you can't adjust one without essentially adjusting the other. So if you're using wattage as an example, that would be the top button here. You press it and hold it for a moment, and then it'll show you where it's set. Currently mine is set at 11. And then even if I turn this off and turn it back on, it will remember the previous setting that I had it set on. So that's also another great thing. You don't have to keep on adjusting it once you've turned it off and turned it back on. The bottom button here will adjust voltage in the same way. It also includes a puff counter. I don't know why you would want to count that, but if you have a reason that you'd want to know how many puffs you've taken, you can do that as well. If you press and hold either button, press and hold either the wattage button or the voltage button, the first thing that it's going to come up and display is that puff counter. And then after it displays that puff counter for a moment, it'll show you where you're currently set with either one of those items, with either your voltage or your wattage. The voltage ranges from 3.3 to 5 volts, and you can raise that in 0.1 increments. Your wattage settings you can raise in half-watt increments up to 11. So wattage goes from 6 to 11, and your voltage goes from 3.3 to 5. To read your resistance ratings of your coil, you'll press both buttons simultaneously. When you press both of those buttons, the first thing it's going to come up and show you is the resistance rating of your coil. Mine here is a 1.9 ohm resistant coil. And then the second thing that it will display there is how much voltage your battery actually has left remaining in it. Another great indicator of your battery is the button itself. When you press the button, it will either light up green, yellow, or red. Green when it's charged, yellow when it hits that halfway mark, and then red, of course, whenever it needs to be recharged. Milliamp hour rating on this battery is 2600. Like I said at the beginning, that'll normally get you around 2 days worth of vaping time off of it before you have to recharge, depending on how you use the device, how often you vape, how high you have the power rating set to. To turn it off, you'll press the battery quick 3 times. The lights will then flash across the battery, or across the power button here, to show you that it's turning off. And then whenever you press the button after that, it will not fire. So if you have this in your pocket or in a situation where the button could get pressed, it does have that little safety feature, so you can turn that off. And to turn it back on, you do the same thing. Press it 3 times. The battery's, the light behind the power button there lights up. It'll go red, yellow, green real quick, just to show you that it has turned back on. You press it 3 times to turn it off. Only the green light will come on, indicating that you've turned it off. If you've turned it on, it will cycle through all 3 colors, showing that it's now on. Now, the MVP itself, it does have some protection built into it for all kinds of different reasons, and it will not fire if you have a coil on here that drops lower than 0.8 ohms. And realistically, it's going to have to be much higher than that anyway in order to get the full power out of this device. And most of your standard tanks that you'll get, anything much like I have on here, which is the Spire Nautilus, your EVODs and everything else are usually going to be around 1.5, if not higher, somewhere between 1.5 to 2 ohms of resistance anyway. So all of the tanks that you're going to buy are going to work fantastic on this. This is not something that's ideal for rebuildables. It just doesn't have the power for that, although it's a great device for checking your coils, because like I said right here, when you press both of these buttons, you can determine what the resistance rating is of the coils that you're building. I use it all the time when rebuilding on my RDA to determine, because if you don't have something that's going to show you that, you'll have to buy a separate meter to read those things. So if that is a step that you plan on taking, going to rebuildables, this would be a great device for you. Like I said, I do recommend it for beginners, intermediate, and advanced for all those reasons. It's got great protection on it. It's going to work with all your tanks. It's going to give you that step that you need if you do take that plunge into rebuildables and start going down that route. You have something that's going to be able to read your resistance ratings on your coils and give you some sort of idea where you're at with that. One thing that comes in really handy with these is the fact that since it does read your resistance ratings on your coils, if someone's having an issue with their tank, you're having an issue with your tank, it's not firing right, maybe you have an EVOD, maybe you have really pretty much anything, 510 or Ego threaded, and it's not firing on the battery that you have, and you're not sure whether it's the battery or the atomizer itself, you can pop that bad boy on here, check the resistance rating. If it's reading the resistance rating, you know everything with the atomizer should be all right. You might want to take a look at the battery and whatnot. But in the event that it's not making a good connection for some reason, you're going to be able to determine that using this little 3-digit display. I'm going to go ahead and just screw this off of here a little bit so it's not making a solid connection and show you what that looks like. So now my tank is unthreaded a little bit, and now whenever I press these 2 buttons, you're going to see it just says NON, non. It's not reading this tank, it's not going to fire up, it's going to detect that error. So that's also a great little feature with it. It's a long-lasting battery, so even for a beginner, if you're a little concerned about maybe having to recharge your battery and not having it during that recharging period of time, this is something that you can use while it's recharging, so you don't have to go without in the event that you need to get your vape on really bad. So it's great for beginners, great for intermediate, great for advanced. Just all around, it's a great product. I recommend it highly. This is my own personal one, and it's my go-to device whenever I'm in a position where I don't have my my dripper with me, or just a mechanical mod isn't really suited for what I'm doing in that environment. This is the one that you'll see me carrying around. So come on out and get you one today. Come on down to the VaporLock here in Greenfield and get yourself one of the many different styles of the MVP. You don't just wake up like this. You have to make this happen.